You know, disrespect doesn't always show up with a slap to the face or someone yelling in your ear. Sometimes, it whispers, a smirk, a sarcastic comment, that moment when someone talks over you, or worse, acts like you're invisible. It's subtle, it's quiet, but it stings, and over time, those little cuts add up. They can break trust, poison relationships, even make you doubt your own worth. But here's the truth, the Stoics understood this. Centuries ago, respect is not something you beg for, it's something you embody. It's not about forcing others to treat you a certain way, it's about mastering yourself so deeply, so completely, that people have no choice but to recognize your presence. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic minds, once wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." In other words, don't stoop to their level, rise to your own. In this video, I'm going to share 12 timeless Stoic principles that will train your mind, build your character, and help you navigate disrespect without losing your power, your peace, or your dignity. Because listen, you don't need to yell to be strong. You don't need to retaliate to be respected. You need clarity. You need composure. And you need a quiet commitment to living by your values, no matter who's watching. We'll talk about how to sharpen your awareness of subtle disrespect, how to train your response so it doesn't control you, and how to carry yourself in a way that silently commands respect without ever asking for it. So if you've ever felt overlooked, mocked, or underestimated, know this: you don't have to stay in that story. You can write a new one, starting now. And if you're ready to build that unshakable core, that inner stillness no insult can shake, type it in the comments, "I claim my power." Because that's not just a comment, that's a decision. Let's begin. Let's talk about something most people misunderstand: compassion. When you hear compassion, what comes to mind? Maybe softness, weakness, or being too nice to stand your ground. But here's the secret: the Stoics have known for thousands of years, compassion is not weakness, it's real strength in action. Compassion isn't about being a doormat, it's deep wisdom, guiding your choices. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once said something powerful that made me pause. Before you judge others, ask yourself, do I share this flaw? Could I be guilty of the same mistake? How often do we rush to blame others, without looking inward? How often do we judge harshly, missing the bigger picture, that we're all imperfect, all learning? That's the foundation of true compassion, and it starts with forgiving yourself. Sounds simple, but self-forgiveness is one of the hardest things to do. How can you truly forgive others if you carry guilt, shame, or anger inside? Self-forgiveness frees you. It unchains your mind from bitterness. When your heart feels light, it's easier to open it to others. Next, compassion means listening, not just hearing, but truly understanding. Here's a question for you: how often do you listen? Just to respond, to argue back, to win the conversation? Try shifting that. Listen to understand someone's story, their pain, their fears, even if you don't agree. This simple shift can transform conflict into connection. It builds bridges instead of walls. Finally, compassion calls us to action, not just kind words, but patient encouragement, generous deeds, steady support. Maybe it's sending a message of hope to a struggling friend. Maybe it's holding back frustration when someone pushes your buttons. Maybe it's quietly giving, without expecting anything in return. These actions, they build a quiet power inside you, a presence that naturally commands respect. Because people don't respect loud chaos, they respect calm. They don't admire cruelty, they admire restraint. They respect those who master their emotions instead of being mastered by them. So no, compassion isn't weakness, it's the strongest wisdom we can practice. It frees you from the poison of resentment, it builds a fortress of inner peace, and it draws respect, not because you demand it, but because you deserve it. So today, ask yourself, are you ready to lead with compassion for yourself and for others? If yes, you're already walking the path to becoming someone no one can disrespect. And now, I want to hear your story. Drop a comment below, sharing a moment when you chose compassion over reaction. Share it, because that's not just your story, it's inspiration for someone else who needs it. Have you ever stopped to really think about how much your words reveal about who you truly are? Because words, they're never just empty sounds, they are windows into your character, mirrors, reflecting your values, your integrity, and yes, they shape how others see you, how they respond to you, how they treat you. In Stoic philosophy, your speech is a reflection of your inner self. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it, and when you choose to speak, or stay silent. So, how do you make sure your words build respect, not tear it down? There are 3 timeless principles to live by: honesty, kindness, purpose. Let's start with honesty. At first glance, being honest, especially when admitting flaws or mistakes, might feel risky, uncomfortable. We worry about how others will judge us. But here's the truth, people respect honesty far more than clever cover-ups or empty excuses. Think about a moment when someone simply said, "I was wrong." Didn't it feel refreshing, genuine, trustworthy? That's because honesty signals authenticity. It shows you're strong enough to face your imperfections, instead of hiding behind a mask. Real strength isn't about pretending to be perfect, it's about being brave enough to be real. Now, imagine the opposite, a world where everyone pretends, dodges responsibility, speaks with no truth. How fragile would our relationships be? How quickly would trust disappear? The second principle is kindness. Criticism, disagreements, even conflict, they're inevitable, but how you deliver your words makes all the difference. Angry words don't just hurt, they build walls, they create distance, they leave scars. Instead, practice constructive feedback. Be honest, but be gentle. Speak for growth, not punishment. Ask yourself, am I speaking to help this person improve, or just to unload my frustration? Imagine if every difficult conversation you ever had ended in connection instead of conflict. How different would your relationships look? And here's another question, how often do you listen just to respond? To argue back, to win, instead of listening to understand? Try shifting your mindset. Listen to understand, to hear the story behind the words, the feelings behind the tone, even if you don't agree. This simple shift turns barriers into bridges. Finally, the third principle, purpose. Before you speak, pause and ask yourself, is what I'm about to say going to add value? Is it clear? Is it necessary? Avoid the trap of empty chatter, complaints, or words that scatter attention without building anything meaningful. Words with purpose command respect because they show you think deeply. Before you speak, they carry weight because they come from clarity of mind and clarity of intention. Now, here's a powerful insight from the Stoics that might surprise you. Sometimes, the strongest statement you can make is silence. Not every situation needs a response. Choosing when to remain silent is an act of real strength and deep self-control. It protects your dignity, and it stops you from saying things you might regret. So next time, before you speak, pause for a moment and ask yourself, will this bring clarity? Benefit? Growth? If the answer is no, consider holding back. Remember this, respect starts, not just with what you say, but how you say it, and when you choose to say nothing at all. Your words have the power to build bridges or burn them down. They can make you a leader others trust, or someone they quietly avoid. The power is in your hands, and it's in your voice. So here's my challenge to you: start today by choosing your words with care. Speak honestly, kindly, and with purpose, and sometimes master the art of silence, because that's how you build respect, not by demanding it, but by living it. Have you ever found yourself in the middle of chaos, wondering how some people remain absolutely unshakable, calm, steady, like a rock, no matter the storm around them? What's their secret? It's the power of mindfulness, being truly present, here and now, fully aware of what's happening, but never letting the chaos inside take control. Mindfulness isn't about zoning out, it's not ignoring problems, it's about mastering the moment and your reaction to it, especially when you face unfairness or disrespect. Imagine this: you're in a meeting, and suddenly, someone accuses you of a mistake you didn't make. Your heart races, your breath quickens, and every instinct screams to snap back, defend yourself, maybe even raise your voice. What do you do in that moment? Do you lose control, or do you pause? Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, and one of Stoicism's greatest thinkers, taught himself simple tools: his breath, his silence, to steady his mind and master his emotions, even when the world felt like it was collapsing. This wasn't weakness, it was strength. Here's the thing: when you pause, take a deep breath, and respond with calm, you don't just survive the moment, you own it. That pause, that moment of presence, it sends a powerful message: you are in command of yourself, not a victim of circumstances. Mindfulness means you choose how you respond, rather than reacting impulsively, and letting anger or frustration control your words and your actions. And this kind of calm, it's not just good for you, it builds your reputation as someone others can trust and respect. Why? Because people instinctively feel safe around calmness. They know you won't blow up, you won't lose control, you become the steady anchor in turbulent waters, the one who keeps cool when everything else is heating up. Think about someone in your life who never lets stress or disrespect get to them. How does that make you feel? More likely to trust them, to listen, to follow? That's the power mindfulness gives you. So next time you're caught in a tough moment, maybe someone cuts you off, mocks you, or unfairly blames you, try this: pause, breathe deeply, be fully present, then respond, not with anger, not with impulsiveness, but with quiet, confident control. You don't have to shout to be heard. You don't have to fight to earn respect. Your calm, composed presence speaks louder than words ever could. And here's a challenge for you: the next time you feel the heat rising, don't let your emotions take the wheel. Take back control. Show the world your unshakable core, the calm inside that no insult or chaos can break. Because when you master mindfulness, you're not just protecting your peace, you're commanding respect, and that is true power. So tell me in the comments, when was the last time you paused and chose calm over reaction? Or, when do you think you could start practicing that pause? Let's start building that inner strength today, together. Have you ever held on to a grudge so tightly it felt like it was slowly eating you alive from the inside? That heavy weight on your chest, the restless nights, the constant replaying of hurtful moments in your mind, it's exhausting, isn't it? That's exactly what unforgiveness does to your soul. It chains you down, keeps you trapped in a prison of your own making. But here's a truth the Stoics have known for centuries: forgiveness isn't about excusing others, it's not about forgetting what happened, no. It's about something far more powerful: freeing yourself. You see, you can't rewrite the past, you can't undo the pain or the betrayal, but what you can control, where your real power lies, is how you respond. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, reminded himself often, the hardest person to forgive is usually yourself. How many times have you beaten yourself up over mistakes, regrets, or what-ifs? But Marcus, along with Epictetus, teaches us this. Treat your mistakes as teachers, not punishers. Every failure, every wrong turn, every regret, these aren't dead ends, they're stepping stones, lessons. So let me ask you this. What if you saw your past, not as shame, but as a roadmap, a guide, pointing you toward growth? Now, let's bring this to life, with a story we all know. Nelson Mandela, 27 years, behind bars. Most would emerge bitter, angry, consumed by hatred, but Mandela chose a different path. He chose forgiveness, not because his captors deserved it, but because he did. He deserved freedom. Freedom from the chains of resentment. He turned pain into quiet strength, becoming a global symbol of peace and resilience. That's the real power of forgiveness. It's not weakness, it's the ultimate strength, the courage to let go, to move forward, to reclaim your peace. So ask yourself, honestly, what grudges are you still carrying? What past hurts are you ready to release? Not for them, but for you. Here's your challenge: take a moment today to write down one thing you need to forgive. Maybe it's yourself, maybe someone else. It's not about condoning, it's about freeing yourself. And if you're ready to begin this journey, type it in the comments: I choose freedom. Let that be your declaration, because forgiveness isn't just a word, it's a decision, a daily practice, the path to true inner freedom. Remember the words of Marcus Aurelius: the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Rise above the pain. Break the chains, and walk forward, with a soul unshakable, free, and whole. Have you ever noticed how much power we give away by holding on too tightly, holding on to outcomes, possessions, or even the approval from others? We often cling so hard to these things, without realizing that we're losing our true freedom and strength. Stoicism teaches us a profound lesson: true power comes from letting go, what the Stoics call detachment. Let's break down 3 key types of detachment. First, detachment from outcomes. How many times have you felt crushed by failure, or stressed over needing a specific result? The Stoics remind us, focus on your effort and your actions, not the outcome you can't control. When you stop fearing failure, you become unstoppable. The process itself becomes your power, not the prize. Second, detachment from material possessions. It's easy to define ourselves by what we own: money, cars, clothes. But Seneca put it simply: live simply, so possessions do not possess you. When you don't rely on things for your worth, you gain a freedom and value that no one can take away. Third, detachment from external approval. How often do you change yourself just to fit in, just to be liked? When you stop needing validation, your confidence soars. You no longer shrink or bend, because your self-worth isn't borrowed, it belongs fully to you. Once you master letting go of external attachments, the next quality to cultivate is humility. Humility isn't about putting yourself down, it's about accepting that you don't know everything, and that's perfectly okay. It's the openness to learn, and grow, every day. Truly humble people don't chase being the best, just to impress. They focus on becoming better versions of themselves, and that mindset creates a quiet confidence that naturally earns respect. Seneca said, "When we teach, we learn." Humility lifts the heavy burden of ego and unlocks real strength, the power of self-awareness and continual growth. So ask yourself, are you ready to let go of what's holding you back, to embrace humility as strength, to become steady, unshakable, and deeply respected? Start today. Freedom and true power await you. Let's explore a quality often overlooked, but essential in today's fast-paced world: patience. Patience isn't just waiting, it's a quiet, powerful strength, the ability to endure difficulty without losing control or composure. It keeps you grounded when everything around you feels unfair, hostile, or overwhelming. Imagine this: Philip is in a critical meeting, and a colleague publicly insults him. Most would snap back, lose their temper, but Philip chooses a different path. He stays silent, he doesn't react impulsively, doesn't get dragged into drama. Instead, he breathes, processes calmly, and later addresses the issue thoughtfully. What happens next? Philip gains respect, not just from the colleague, but from everyone watching. This is patience in action, holding your emotional ground with restraint. It's not weakness, it's a sign of inner mastery. Marcus Aurelius said, "The obstacle is the way." Challenges, insults, setbacks, they aren't reasons to lash out, they are opportunities to build resilience and deepen your strength. Those who cultivate patience don't let anger control them, they don't quit at the first failure or frustration. They respond with calm reason, deliberate action. Patience also opens the door to forgiveness and understanding. By pausing, instead of reacting impulsively, you create space for empathy and healing. This strengthens relationships and builds lasting inner peace. Ask yourself, how often do I react too quickly when provoked? How might my life change if I paused, breathed deeply, and chose my response wisely? Could patience be the key to turning conflict into respect, chaos into calm, and turmoil into growth? In a world obsessed with speed and instant results, patience is a rare and invaluable superpower. It protects your peace and commands respect without saying a word. Today, decide to practice patience. When anger rises, pause, breathe, center yourself, respond with quiet confidence and calm strength. Watch how this simple shift transforms your life. Earning respect and strengthening your inner power. Remember, patience isn't weakness, it's the ultimate power, the steady calm in the storm, the unbreakable core no insult or challenge can shake. Let's talk about something many mistake for weakness, but is actually one of the greatest forms of strength: kindness. Kindness isn't soft, it's not passive, it's a silent force that moves mountains in a world that rewards aggression and toughness. Kindness takes real courage. It's the strength to be gentle when the world pushes you to be harsh. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Don't waste time arguing about what a good person should be, just be one." This isn't about perfection, it's about embodying kindness through simple, daily actions. Starting right now, think about this: when was the last time a sincere compliment, or truly listening to someone, changed the entire tone of a relationship? Those small moments, they break down walls, build trust, and open doors where anger once stood. But here's a question for you: how often do you show kindness to yourself? We are often our own harshest critics, punishing ourselves for mistakes instead of learning from them. Imagine how your life would shift if you treated yourself with the same compassion you offer a close friend. Let me share a powerful example. Nelson Mandela, after 27 years of imprisonment, he didn't return with bitterness. He didn't seek revenge. He led with kindness. He combined firm justice with deep empathy. He held others accountable, but always supported their growth. That balance earned him genuine respect, and transformed a nation. This is kindness in its highest form, strength wrapped in grace. Kindness sets a standard. It creates an atmosphere where respect flows naturally. When you lead with kindness, people reflect it back. They treat you with care, dignity, and trust. Now ask yourself, what if kindness was your greatest weapon? What if your power came not from force or loudness, but from empathy, patience, and the courage to be gentle? Could kindness be the secret to winning respect and influencing the world? Not through domination, but through heart. Remember this, kindness doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise, resilient, and truly powerful. Gratitude is more than a fleeting feeling, or a polite thank you. It's a discipline, a mindset, and a daily practice that builds inner resilience. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have lived, now live the rest well." This is a call to fully embrace life, with all its challenges and all its gifts. So how can we truly cultivate gratitude? One simple, powerful habit: write down 3 things you're genuinely thankful for each day. This isn't about ignoring problems. It's about training your mind to focus on what's present, not what's missing. Have you tried this? Notice how gratitude shifts your mood, your outlook, your relationships. Expressed sincerely, even in tough moments. Gratitude softens tension, it strengthens bonds, it reminds us of our shared humanity. It's easy to get caught up in complaints, in what's unfair, in what's lacking, but gratitude pulls us back to the present. It grounds us in calmness. It helps us stay steady amid chaos. People who practice gratitude consistently, they radiate quiet confidence, a strength that comes from within, and that naturally earns respect. Imagine someone facing hardship, yet focusing daily on the good. Their attitude uplifts others and turns challenges into growth. That is the true power of gratitude. It transforms your inner world and the world around you. So ask yourself, what if your greatest strength isn't status, wealth, or skills, but your ability to be grateful every day? Gratitude isn't just a feeling. It's a choice, a discipline, a practice you embrace repeatedly. To start now, grab a notebook, write down 3 things you're thankful for today. Notice how this simple act shifts your energy and changes your perspective. What are you grateful for right now? Share it in the comments. Let's inspire each other to live with more gratitude every day. Have you ever stopped to think what true integrity really means? It's more than just a buzzword. More than something you hear in speeches. Integrity is about living fully aligned with your values, especially when no one is watching. It's that quiet, steady strength that keeps you grounded when shortcuts and compromises seem tempting. Even easier, Epictetus once said, "Don't strive to be loved, strive to be respected." And respect, real respect, always starts with how you treat yourself. So, what does a person with integrity actually look like? They don't say one thing and do another. They don't trade principles for approval or gain. They don't betray trust, even when lying might bring a quick reward. Imagine this: a businessperson is offered a lucrative deal, but only if they accept a bribe. Most would be tempted. But the person with integrity says no. They choose to lose the deal rather than sacrifice their honor. Years later, that same person is approached by partners who value ethics, trust, and long-term vision. The doors opened by integrity, though costly at first, are priceless. Here's the lesson: living true to your values builds self-respect, and self-respect is unshakable. It's a strength no one can take from you. When you act with integrity, people feel it, they see it, they respect it, even if they never say it out loud. Now ask yourself, are you living your life seeking approval from others, or are you living for respect from yourself and from those who matter? Integrity might not always be easy, it might cost you something, but in the long run, it's the only path that leads to lasting dignity and genuine respect. When your life is built on integrity, you don't just earn respect, you become someone others look up to, not because you demand it, but because you deserve it. So today, ask yourself, how can I align more closely with my values? What choices reflect who I truly want to be, even when no one is watching? Remember, integrity isn't about grand gestures, it's about the small decisions you make every single day. Have you ever felt ignored, overlooked, disrespected? Maybe the problem isn't them, maybe you haven't set clear boundaries. The Stoics teach us this truth: you can't control others' actions, but you can control how you allow them to treat you, and that power to say enough belongs to you, only you. Setting boundaries isn't just about saying no. It's about standing firm. When your values are crossed, it means refusing to excuse repeated disrespect, and sometimes, it means walking away. Let me share a story. An employee is publicly humiliated by his boss during a meeting. Most people would stay silent, swallow the pain, but not him. Calm, confident, he sets his boundary clearly: I will not accept disrespect, and I'm prepared to walk away if it continues. What happens next? The boss listens and respects his courage. That employee, later promoted. Why? Because when you say no to disrespect, you send a powerful message: I matter. And when you truly value yourself, others adjust, they rise to meet your standard. Now think about this: how often do we sacrifice peace just to avoid conflict, just to be liked? But here's the truth: real respect begins the moment you protect your inner world, and refuse to tolerate less than you deserve. So ask yourself, are you ready to say no to anything that threatens your self-respect? Are you ready to protect your boundaries, even when it feels uncomfortable? Because that is where true respect, peace, and freedom begin. Remember, boundaries are not walls built to shut others out, they are bridges to healthier relationships, grounded in mutual respect and genuine care. When you own your boundaries, you reclaim your power and your dignity, and that changes everything. Have you ever noticed how some people carry a quiet, unwavering power, a presence that commands respect without raising their voice? More often than not, that power boils down to one simple, yet profound quality: self-discipline. Without discipline, we become puppets to our fleeting emotions, reacting impulsively, uttering words we regret, slowly losing the respect of those around us. But the Stoics teach us a deeper truth: true freedom is not found in external circumstances, it's found when you master yourself. So, what is self-discipline? It's the secret key that allows you to control your words and actions. Even when provoked, keep promises to yourself. Even when it's hard, build steady habits that anchor you in a chaotic world. Picture someone you admire, maybe it's a colleague, always punctual, meets every deadline, maintains their rhythm. Even when motivation fades, you don't need them to announce their reliability, you feel it in every consistent action. That invisible authority, that's the power of self-discipline. Now ask yourself, when was the last time you kept a promise to yourself, especially when it was difficult. How did it make you feel? Most likely, a surge of confidence. A reminder, you are in control of your life. Here's the truth, self-discipline isn't about rigid control, it's about freedom, freedom from being tossed by moods, fears, or the opinions of others. It's about becoming a steady force in your own life, and the best part, you don't have to shout to be heard. When your actions are consistent, your integrity speaks louder than words ever could. People respect those who embody discipline, because it signals strength, commitment, trustworthiness. As Epictetus said, no man is free who is not master of himself. So today, challenge yourself. What's one small promise you can make and keep that will build your self-discipline? Start there, and watch your power grow, because in the end, self-discipline isn't just about doing what's right, it's about becoming the person others admire, calm, purposeful, and undeniably strong. Have you ever wondered why some people naturally earn respect without ever demanding it? The secret lies not in what they say, but how they live, and how they carry themselves every single day. Respect isn't something you can force, it's something you attract through your thoughts, your actions, and your self-mastery. The Stoics give us 12 powerful lessons to cultivate this silent strength. Here are just a few. You don't react impulsively, you choose calm control. Imagine someone in a heated argument who stays grounded, refuses to escalate. That is real power. You don't chase approval, you build your worth. From within, like a tree deeply rooted, you stand strong, no matter the storm. You don't bow to insults, you hold your boundaries, you live with integrity, because your character is unshakable. As Marcus Aurelius said, if someone can offend you, see whether it's truly an offense, or just you allowing it to become one. That reminds us, respect begins inside, so from this moment on, walk tall, not with arrogance, but with quiet confidence. You don't need to say, I deserve respect. Your actions, your discipline, your calm presence, say it all. So here's your call to action. Choose today to live intentionally, master yourself, embody respect. When you do, the world has no choice but to meet you there. Your respect is your greatest power. Protect it, own it, live it.